We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
Hi and good morning and welcome to round 3, the masterclass of the BDC British Drift Championship here from a sunny but windy Teesside in Middlesbrough. Hosted today by myself, Ben Manuel, stepping in for the good looking of the two brothers Ian Waddington, but with the ever beautiful Sarah Hall as ever.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you, Ben. Thank you. We do miss Ian, but it's lovely to have your company this morning. The championship so far has been absolutely breathtaking, so I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen today.
Well, that makes two of us, but what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the start order for today's drivers and just run through the list so people at home can see who we've got, what position we're starting in. It is a reverse grid, Sarah.
So we've got the top qualifiers starting later on in the qualifying this morning.
That's correct, yes. Correct. So obviously people who've not driven at the rounds before, they will start first, and then we'll run through their championship order, running through obviously the 32, 16, top 8 through to top 4. As we look at the list of drivers that are available today. As you can see, we have got quite a nice day today for the drifting that's going to be going on.
It's not too bad so far. It's consistent as well on the track, which is going to be good for the drivers because they know what they're coming up against.
Absolutely. After round 2, obviously, they had a lot of challenges and a lot of differences between the rounds, so it's going to make it a lot easier for these guys to know what to do.
Yeah, to know what setups they want to run and how the grip levels out on the track as well is really important to know what they're coming up against, and hopefully it'll stay consistent.
Yep, so as you can see, the top 3 in the championship is headed out by third place William Hanna, travelling all the way down from Scotland there. We also got Paul Cunnington in second place, and rounded out by Martin Cowley, who are your top 3 in the current Pro-Am standing. So these guys will obviously go last in the qualifying runs. The drivers will also have a different layout from the original round 1. What we've done is we've gone back to the old school version. I say old school, but Teesside is the home of UK drifting, where it all started moons ago. We're going to be running it in the normal order. For you guys on screen that can see, this is a layout of the track, running it as normal. The drivers are going to initiate through clip 1 and onto South Bank towards clip 2. They're going to run down the wall there, clip 3, off of where they've built a man-made wall. Full power section here through 4, and a snappy transition into clip 5 as they're on the hairpin on the inside of the inner track. They then push out towards 6, where again we've built another wall. You'll see this later when we get the live action. And then the final bit, the dogleg. This is a full power section. It's quite dangerous as they come over the line and then shut off towards the finish line. Drivers just getting lined up, getting these guys out into qualifying order. We've got Malx, Mini and Ammo down there on the start line, getting everybody into place. The wind picked up a bit as well at the minute.
It hasn't. It always waits till we sit down and then the wind picks up and the tower's wobbling about.
And then we get cold.
Yeah, usually.
It does help though with the smoke. These guys are going to generate a hell of a lot of smoke out on track. So obviously having that bit of a breeze saves it lingering. Means we can obviously progress a bit quicker.
And it's blowing away from the crowd a little bit, which is nice for them, I guess.
Yeah, well, you'll be surprised,
you have to hold your breath.
Especially when you sat up there on the banking, when these guys are shredding tyres and the wheel speeds are over 100 miles an hour plus. It doesn't have to throw a lot of debris up.
It does. I was stood up there this morning having a little watch of practice, and I've got muck on my face already.
Yeah,
so that is what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, little bits of rubber and everything flying up. You can see some live camera shots there. The Pro-Am guys on the start line are all getting ready. We've just been speaking to Toby, the track marshal. He's going to get these guys live so he can crack on and fire through the qualifying runs. Drivers have got 2 runs as well, so they will do their first run. Probably put a safe one in just to be certain, see how things are.
Just to bank some points on there.
That's exactly right. So they'll bank a few points, and then if they're happy with with the level, these guys have had a bit of practice before you see us today, just to dial in the lines and get used to the track. But then hopefully they'll go mental for their second run if they want to get it up into the 90s and get the higher points. They've not just got to put a safe run in, they've got to be outstanding for the judges today.
I think they're definitely going to bring it. They've already been going mental this morning, to be honest, in practice. So I think they've got a lot more to put out there.
Oh, absolutely. They had a practice day yesterday, just dialing in the track. Some drivers opting to do yesterday's practice just to get used to the lines and the layout and everything that we've got here today. Hopefully, as long as the weather doesn't change, it will make the day run a lot smoother. As soon as there's an ounce of rain and track conditions change, yourself from a driver's point of view, it just turns this place into an ice skating ring because there's so much rubber laid down on the track. You add a little bit of water onto the top of that, and it's like glass.
That's it, and a lot of people who've maybe not looked further into the sport might not realise about the rubber and the water and how that actually affects, because you think, well, it's a bit wet because it's raining, but actually there's a lot more to it. Once that rubber's down and you've got the water on top of it, it is just super slick.
Yeah, that's right. And also these guys running a semi-slick tyres on these, not your standard road tyres. Road tyres doing thousands of miles before changing them. These guys are probably going to get about 3 laps.
Somebody said that to me yesterday. One of the drivers actually said to me they get 3 runs in for a set of tyres.
Yep.
That is an expensive old do, isn't it?
It is, when you consider that's probably, 12 corners?
Yeah, that's a lot of rubber being there.
And it's a lot of money as well for these guys.
It certainly is, which is why sponsors are so important to these guys, isn't it?
So as you can see, we've got Justina Snorkus in this E36, just doing a little bit of a warm-up. There's like a burnout box where they can warm the tyres up just before a run. It also helps to clear the rubber off the front tyres, because the front tyres, being super sticky, pick up quite a bit of debris. So obviously you can feel that in the steering wheel if you've got clumps of rubber stuck on them. So they'll just do a little warm-up, get ready for the runs. And here you can see Malx just sending him off the line. He's a last-minute entry. His first time driving in BDC. As you can see, just flicking it in there, running that wall. The white lines there just showing on track to give the judges somewhere to see where the car's position as they come down the wall. A little bit off of the clip 3 there. Just a little bit tentative by the looks of things there. They're just trying to feel his way around the track. Coming up towards the wall there, the man-made one you can see. The drivers have got a clipping box. Drivers have got a clipping box on the floor, which is obviously to give them a visual aid, but also to aid the judges to see where the car is in relation to the clipping points, so they can give a judge score to see where the drivers are.
We've got some nice new clipping boards as well.
We
you
have.
seen them?
Mr. Stevenson has shelled out and bought some clipping boards. So Justina Snorkus there, Ryan putting his first score as a 61, a 54 from John there, and Brad at a 55. Automatically puts him into position 1 because he's the first driver, but an average score 56.6.
That's a good safe run, Brian.
Yeah, especially on a track he's never driven before.
That's it, yeah.
Dan Tyler, S14. This is a 1JZ Toyota engine in this area. Again, a little bit low on the track there, and then coming up towards clip 2. Judges wanting to see the drivers running really wide out all along South Bank. Well, a little bit on the inside of the hairpin there, as you can see, transitioning through clip 5, and then out towards clip 6. As they drive, oh, fantastic drone shot there as they come over the line. Dan just putting a bit of a safe run. Few little errors there from him, a little bit short on some clipping points, could have been a little bit wider, but again, just needs to be putting a run in so he feels a bit more comfortable.
That's it, get a safe score on the board, but yeah, maybe tidy it up a little bit next time, be a bit more.
Well, these drivers should hopefully have spotters out there who will be relaying information back to them of where the areas are that they can look to improve.
So they're stood watching the runs, they're giving them some feedback, letting them know where they can improve.
Yeah, absolutely, which is key. We've got Andy Frost here. This is a borrowed car. This is not his normal vehicle. This is a V8 S14, so quite difficult, and you just shut it down there. It's quite difficult to borrow a car that you're not used to, irrespective of how many laps you've got. And also, he's probably got at the back of his mind, it's somebody else's car.
If he bins this, he's going to be in trouble, isn't he?
He is. It's like a gentleman's agreement. If anything goes wrong,
he's going to owe someone a lot of pints.
Yes, absolutely.
If he wrecks this.
So Andy there putting a bit of a scrappy running, but again, it's a borrowed car. You can't expect these guys to come out and put championship winning runs in when you're borrowing somebody else's car.
He's been doing some good practice runs this morning. I've been watching him.
Well, you know as well as I do, practice and then being under pressure.
2 different things.
Absolutely.
Completely different things.
Absolutely. So, first female in the lineup, Jolene McDonald in her E92 M3. Beautifully well turned out car this, and putting some savage runs in practice. Hopefully the pressure not getting to her. Look at the smoke from this thing. Really nice wide line there, and getting out towards the clipping points. Very, very well-rounded driver, and progressing through from Drift Cup up into BDC, saying she was going to come back for round 3 and put it all on the wall. Little bit of an error there by the looks of it.
Wobble,
yep. Solid run.
Jojo's got one more than it is Savage.
That is it.
She's got one, and that is it. I know she's had some clutch problems this morning as well, so she's just going to be super excited to get out on track.
I turned up this morning, the car was an axle stand, and the guys were underneath it at 7 o'clock this morning, stripping it to get a clutch in.
Never a good sign, is it?
No.
Yeah. She was itching to go. She was like bouncing around waiting to get in the car.
I saw yesterday on social media, she was putting some savage lines in practice yesterday. Just waiting on the judges there putting their scores in. John's probably not pressed the button, as ever. Probably pressed back or refresh. John Calvert there, an old school driver, veteran driver from back in the day, a local guy as well. Probably not used to this modern technology. It's not been on paper and pen anymore. So we're just waiting on John. But
so we've got 2 local kids in the town now.
We have yourself.
My stomping ground.
You can act as translator for all the southern people watching versus the northern. Yeah,
the northerners will understand me all right. Might not understand the southerners. They all ask me, what's Ian saying? No idea. Can't understand him.
Yeah, Ian's otherwise engaged. He's out in Europe in a minute. He's in France at the Drift Masters event, doing the commentating over there. So I'm sure
he's left us, basically.
He's probably been offered more money. I know, I'm kidding. He's probably jumped ship for the weekend. So there we are, Jolene dropping into first position with a average 66 run. Here we have another Fast R vehicle. This is Jamie Stevens. This is a V8 turbo. I think this runs a Scania turbo on this V8. Wow, look at that entry, smoking across that first clip, full angle, and this car just sounds absolutely amazing.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It is. And he's putting a really strong running. Had a few tentative lines early, but really stepping up into his qualifying line one. I think that's one of the best runs I've seen him put in all day, including his practice.
Was confident.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that.
Confident, yeah.
His initiation then was absolutely beautiful. Flick entry, not on the handbrake, screaming up along the wall. Well, judges
are agreeing with you
absolutely.
Completely there, man, yeah. Unanimous, really.
Yep, straight into position one, coming in with an average of 85 and a half. Got to be happy with that. Fast R putting a strong showing in. Right, next driver up, we are going to have Rob Johnson. We've got, looks like a driver out of position here, whether Darren Wiles is in or not, but we've got Rob Johnson making the trip up. This is a 1.5J, so it's a bit of a hybrid engine. It's a 1JZ bottom end and a 2JZ upper, I think. By the way, it's a bit of an amalgamation of both. So again, another Toyota Super engine in a S body. Rob travelling all the way up from Plymouth Way. Oh, a little bit short there in the upper section of the track. Could have done with pushing a little bit wide up with clip 2. Just screaming down the wall, and again,
definitely an error.
Yeah,
definitely an error coming out of 3 there.
Initiated a little bit too early and scrubbed too much speed, hence obviously being too far in the track. Rob had some issues with this car in round 1, didn't make it, so he didn't drive the track in reverse. And again, he's been out in practice earlier, but hopefully he can get a bit more of a solid run together for his second run.
See, clip 3, the judges are going to be looking for, it is a deceleration zone, isn't it? So they
Absolutely.
are allowed to drop some speed there.
They are, but not too much speed or too early, because what will happen is they will not be further out into the track to get towards clip 4. So if they're
which is exactly what's happened there.
Which is what he's done, yeah. So instead of him being higher up the track and carrying more speed, which obviously brings you through clip 3, he was a bit too narrow. So we've got Dominic Gates, very well. I really like this colour scheme. High up on the track, do another 1JZ S body. They see him running out wide, just carrying a little bit more speed, which makes it easier towards getting that clip 4 and through clip 5 as he comes back through the hairpin. Giving it a bit of a clutch kick there as he screams. Wide line out there towards clip 7. Clutch kick. You're aware of what this means?
Give us a proper explanation.
Because
I'm probably going to do it in layman's terms, like you do it properly.
So from a driver's point of view, when the car is getting a little bit of lag, these are turbocharged cars, so when there's lag within the car and the turbo's not on spool, the drivers will be flat on the accelerator, but they will stamp the clutch, not like dropping the clutch or trying to do a burnout. They'll stamp it really fast.
Just on and off really fast.
On and off really quick, as like a kick, to get the revs back up, to get the car spooled on turbo again, to give them a bit more drive.
Perfect explanation.
Yes.
Well done.
You're welcome.
We'll put that in the dictionary.
Yeah, yep. So here we've got Steve McConnell. This is a 2.8. This is a standard E36 2.8 engine, running about 205, 210 horsepower. Aptly named sticker on the back there. Financial mistake. A lot of these drivers, obviously,
they'll all understand that.
Yeah. And not putting a shoddy performance in, to be fair. A lot of these drivers running 400 horsepower plus, and obviously half the horsepower, you've got twice as much work. You can't just rely upon stamping the pedal.
No, that's it. You haven't got that power available, so you haven't really worked to get the car to do what you want it to do, basically. But it isn't all about the power. You can see that there. He's got the run in. It was quite neat and tidy.
Yeah, absolutely. Judges will reward that as well, because
and they are.
Yeah,
absolutely
you can
rewarding
see with the scores. It's all about the line, and you can't compete in battles if you don't qualify. So these guys need to put some solid qualifying lines in to then make it into the big show later today.
So just waiting for one more score to drop in.
Interesting fact about Stephen McCall, he's a Rolls-Royce engineer.
I like that. Now, is that the cars or is that the engines?
Who knows? It could be the planes,
yeah.
It could be anything. We'll have to have a chat with him later.
Yeah, I want
on.
to find out. I need to find out.
You're
I did some driving for Rolls-Royce.
You did.
You've
probably driven more supercars than most people here.
I can't believe they give a lass from Teesside the keys to a Rolls-Royce, but there you go.
So we've got Chris Wright here in this 350Z. This is a VQ, so just having a bit of a wobble there as he's come off South Bank and running really wide there, dropping some wheels off track. Had a bit of a wobble there, and then obviously paid the price and just fell off the track a little bit. Trying to gather it all up now.
I think that's another example of the pressure just getting a little bit too much. Again, he's been running really, really neat and tidy this morning in practice, and it's just as soon as you see that goal light, the pressure's on, isn't it? And everything just goes out the window.
Yeah, you know it yourself. As soon as you're put under the pressure's on, and you've got to do it, it sometimes gets the better of you.
Yeah, it certainly does. Not too bad though, not too bad. Still got a score on the board with 43, which puts him in 7th position at the moment.
I've got ages here for everybody as we go through the list, and there's quite a massive mix of ages of driver out here.
There is, yeah.
There is. So we've been up to
range.
Ryan Toporowski, friend of mine, S15. This is a Titan 3.4 strokered 2JZ running sequential gearbox. This thing is very, very well turned out. Ryan's had some issues with this car over the years, but it looks like he's getting it all dialed in. It sounds phenomenal.
It does. If you get the chance to have a look around the pits, go and have a look at this because it looks awesome, doesn't it?
Well, what we've got obviously for the fans here today is we'll have a track walk, so these guys will be out on the track with the cars so they can meet the drivers. And Ryan putting a good lap in, to be fair. A few little bits where he could have been a little bit wider deeper into clipping zones, but you know, I'm sure he'll be happy with that. He's got a score on the board, and then he can look obviously better in that as the day goes on. Right,
that's a big difference.
That is a big difference between the judges there. And what's good about it, there's no conferring with the judges. They put their scores in.
Yeah, they know what they've seen. Yeah. They're happy.
Exactly,
yeah.
And it's at their discretion what they're happy with. They might be looking for different critique. So we've got Philip Hayden up on the line, one of the young guns of the Pro-Am BDC, 18 years old, younger brother to Pete Hayden. This is a M3 S54 engine, so a slightly newer engine in this 36, but running 350 horsepower, a compact, so a shorter car, has to make it work a little bit harder.
He certainly does. Interesting fact about Philip, ex-pizza delivery driver.
Well, could you imagine that?
Your pepperoni would be all over the place if he brings it like that.
Yep, turn up and all the cheese is slid to one side of the box.
But it would still be hot when it got there.
It would still be hot, and it would definitely be quick.
It certainly would be.
A few little scrappy areas there where Philip could have been a little bit further out towards the clipping points. Well, like I carried a lot of speed from clip 3 there as you come back through the hairpin towards 4. You got it on quite a lot of lock on there.
You can see how hard they're having to work though, can't you? Does it make a difference that because it's a compact, it's a bit shorter, you know, as a driver?
A shorter wheelbase does make the car a little bit more snappy, you know, so it'll transition quite quick. I think the tried and tested is S bodies and things like that.
Yeah.
But here we've got Danny Maguire, gym owner, and it shows because this guy he's buff.
He lifts, doesn't he?
He's a very good looking fella as well, and he can drive a car.
He certainly can.
RB25 in this 600 horsepower Skyline, considered the boat of the drifting world because they're so big. Sounds epic.
It does. To say this guy's only been drifting about 3 years as well.
Yeah,
that is pretty impressive.
It is
skill he's got.
But also, it's all about seat time. From a driver's point of view, you could have the best car in the world, but if you don't put the hours in and put the seat time in, a good friend of mine, I asked, what's the best thing that I can do, or the upgrade, or what I can do is like, don't waste your money on car, waste your money on seat time.
Yeah. Get the track time in, get the practice in.
Absolutely.
And it's not to suggest that 63.
You'll be happy with that. Coming in 4th position.
You can see his lovely dazzling smile on that profile photograph.
Very dazzling smile. I wonder why. So you got Nerjus Veliskivus.
I think you've done that justice.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Again, a 2JZ in this Skyline. 550 horsepower. This guy is a floor layer. So these guys are run-of-the-mill men. They're not racing drivers. They've all got standard careers, shall we say?
I bet he has to put a lot of carpets down to afford that car, though.
Absolutely. Can you imagine when it goes wrong, having to put the pay out for that?
Do you think he does it like, okay, this job's got me a new turbo, this one's got me some new tyres?
Yeah, look at that profile picture, it looks like an extra out of Madness.
I was going to say Men in Black, I was going to be a bit cooler, but okay, we'll go for Madness.
Must be Madness investing all this money into this. Oh, there we go, scores dropping in, so coming in 4th position, taking an average of 62, judges liking what they see, probably more about line than anything else. obviously it's judged on individuals, not the speed or anything like that. Flamboyancy might add towards it, but here we've got Ash Jones. This is a 1UZ V8 with a 150 shot on us, and a nice high line from Ash there. That is what the judges wanted to see. Running wide, clipping points there, carrying a lot of speed, Sarah.
He is. He was very high up the bank as well, around clip 2 there, and we were just talking about this earlier. I don't know whether the spectators can actually see the bank. There's quite a lot of gradient on the bank.
There is, absolutely, and Ash Jones putting an absolute storming qualifying run in there.
Fantastic.
Wow, that was a tidy run, but you know, we're only viewing it from a commentator's point of view. The judges might be looking for other criteria, but I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I wonder how much NOS you just used in that. So that's a 250-ish horsepower car with 150 shot on NOS, so running around about 400 horsepower. Ashley, the younger brother to Stuart Jones, making up the team slide. And we're just waiting for judges to drop a score in there. Maybe they're having a bit of a conflict.
Bit of a debate about this one.
Position 4th. Well done there, Ash Jones.
Nice one.
So plenty of scope for pushing a little bit harder. Next up, we've got Jack Wotton, another E36. It's a good chassis, this, and it's what I had.
It's definitely a popular one.
It is. They've gone up a little bit in price of recent years because we smashed quite a few of these up. They were quite cheap to buy, good engines, good for learning in. But this one is obviously running a JZ, so again, another Toyota engine. It's a good engine package.
Yeah, another popular choice for engines.
It is, just because of the tunability.
Yeah.
And it's all about the chassis.
Get parts for as well, but you know, is it quite simple?
In terms of availability, the prices have gone up because everybody wants to use them for drifting.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you think not very many people strip Supras down, or there's not very many Supras out there to take bits off, so there will be amalgamated bits that you can steal from other cars. The JZ was a popular engine in obviously in the Japanese domestic market, so they are out there, but in other forms, other vehicles and things like that. Jack Wotton there, dropping in with looks like some early 60 scores. It's going to probably
have to get him past 4th position or not.
I reckon he's probably going to drop in as a guess. This is a guess, around about a 3rd, I would have thought.
I'm going to go 5th. That's my guess. Ooh, 7.
7?
It's not bad though.
I wonder
if
we've had like an automatic stuck on 4th position, because everybody seems to have dropped in 4th of recent. Right, we've got Ian Rutherford up next, local guy in an S13. He's been around this track thousands of times.
Yeah, he should know this place pretty well now.
Yep.
Being local.
Different sound from this S13. It's a BMW V8. Supercharged. Hence why you've got the filter out the bonnet, and you can hear it shushing there. That's obviously the supercharger just releasing all that pressure before it's on off throttle. But nice through clip 5 there. Just pushing out wide, getting close to that wall. Solid run there from Ian Rutherford. That V8 engine sounds quite lazy.
It's like it's going, yeah, do you know what? This is easy, man. I can do this.
Yeah,
it's like it's not even,
it's not trying very hard,
it doesn't need to, does it? It just floats him along.
Yep.
Wafting around in his V8.
Does
sound, yeah, like a jerk.
Like a jerk.
Exactly, you get it. He's getting some good scores dropping in now.
What I do like about this motorsport is you have an untapped availability for engine.
Yeah.
Look, a 681 there dropping in.
Oh, excellent.
Looks like we've had a
I think we've got a little
computer error there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
61 was the score there.
Not 681.
Not 600. I mean, I probably wish
someone's got fat fingers. They're just smashing the keypad there.
But he wishes it was 681, but you know.
Judges there giving me a nod of approval. Just, smashing them all in. Right, so we are back up with Will Gibbs, another E36 on the line. Another 1JZ.
And he's 17.
What?
17.
I wonder if he's even
like he's not even allowed on the road yet. Like
what? 70. Wow.
And this kid can
Look
drive.
at that entry. 90 degrees against that wall there. Sacrificed a bit of the line for that entry, as you can see.
And 3.
Yeah, he's off the clips.
Too shallow into that corner.
I think the initiation of that first entry kind of threw him off for the rest of that south bank.
I think he blew his own mind with it.
Gathered it all up quick. 17 years old though, just smoking around in a 580 horsepower 1JZ.
I wish I was doing that when I was 17.
I get a push bike.
I can't even ride a push bike.
So Ian Rutherford there, just from the previous run, coming in third position with that score of a 61. But Will Gibbs, he's got 17 as well. So I wonder if he's even phased by the pressure. 17,
I know,
just like,
you're a bit cocky at that age, aren't you? You're
exactly.
a bit kind of laid back.
He's like, just send it, see what happens.
Just send it.
God, to be 17 again and driving a 600 horsepower drift car.
It was a little while since I was 17.
Oh, you had a birthday
Yeah.
recently, didn't you?
Yeah, last week. Well, the beginning of the week.
I will not ask a lady her age. Wrong side of 30.
Shh, don't tell everybody. As long as it begins with 2, I don't mind if you guess.
That counter back. Right, the most difficult name in UK drifting to pronounce, but these ways, Magic Blaze Jet Ski.
Well, I hope you've done injustice with that one, to be honest.
We had a giggle about this on Facebook. Maciek in his another 2G ZS14.
So he's originally from Poland, but he lives in Ireland, so he's come all the way over from Ireland to be here,
not a
which
bad
is
part
amazing.
not a bad part of the world to live in. Putting a solid run in there.
And this is his first year in competitive drifting as well, so he will be having an absolute blast out there, whatever happens, I'm sure.
It comes from a very fantastic part of the world when it comes to driving, from drifting, especially Irish always putting a stamp on their on the sport within the world. Dropping in 13th position there.
It's not bad, that's quite safe. I have seen him do a little bit tidier than that earlier, so hopefully he'll bring it in his second run.
Lewis Baker flying through clip 1 there, just a little bit low as he's put too much angle on look and then sacrificed his positioning on track. Maybe trying a little bit too hard with this Sarah.
He's a very confident driver, but again, is this a case of the pressure's just on and it just makes you a little bit untidy because you're trying a little bit too hard, like you say?
Yeah, I think you're totally right there, because I've seen a much cleaner and tidier runs from him there. And obviously, if the first initiation is slightly out, and you get it wrong, you're having to try and gather the car for the rest of the track. And it just looked like he was struggling there to get to the clips from making that error. Sometimes you need to take a bit of a step back.
That's it. That is the problem as well, and we see that every time. Lewis's score there, 37, so he's got a score on the board, which is the most important thing. You do sometimes see it, don't you, where you've got that trying to a little bit too hard.
Stephen Fitzgerald there, flick entry in this RB25 S15. Director of Fitzgerald Motorworks made the trip across from Ireland. Beautiful through clip 3 there. Irish have always got very well turned out cars. I'm sure there's just some secret garage out there, probably Quinn M Sport, building these beautiful S bodies.
They take a lot of pride in the cars, don't
Absolutely.
they? Massive pride in the cars.
And always turning up with the goods and putting a show on for you guys. Especially when you make the trip across from Ireland, it's not cheap.
It's certainly not. So, they're here, they want to get the most out of it they possibly can when you make the commitment and the cost as well to get over.
Yep, a lot of these guys are semi-sponsored. They'll have assistance from people, but entries and tyres and everything else in the package that goes with it.
A lot.
It does.
And like you say, these guys are the normal guys, aren't they?
Yep.
45.
If you want to be a millionaire in drifting, you need to start as a billionaire.
Yes, that's probably the only way to do it.
Right.
Paulius Judicius.
This is a very special
Another Irish driver.
Yep, he is. This is quite a special car. One of the mainstays from UK drifting, piloted by Simon Perry, which that'll ring quite a few bells.
Is that whose car it was?
That's whose car it was. This was the Pink Lady.
This makes a lot of sense to me now.
Wow! Just running that entire wall. Full commitment there for Paulus. Coming out of clip 6 and just smashing into that wall.
He is either bouncing off the limiter or he's parked up. There's no in between with him.
That's it.
And I quite like that.
It's all or nothing there.
It really is.
Track marshals are just trying to straighten things out a little bit. He's had his Weetabix this morning. Looks like he's struggling.
Can't see him from the tower. Oh, there he is. I can see him putting the wall back.
Happy looking fella, isn't he? From Lunatic School.
Lunatic School. I was just going to
I'm
mention
hoping
this.
that is a drift school potentially.
Yeah, I think Ian's nicknamed him when it's Bernie and Lunatic.
Oh, okay.
So
no,
that would make some sense.
It could be. You never know.
Sense.
So we're getting towards the the top end of the grid at the minute. And we've got 34 drivers on track today. One of my favourites, Dango, Carl Farrer in a 1.5 JZ RX-8.
The Rosas.
The Rosa. Well, he's got a bit of a thing with Hayden Cruikshank regarding the to protect and swerve.
Yeah, okay. I've seen them out there, yeah. I get that.
Flat out county. Dango's been driving forever and a day. I think he invented the wheel. This guy has driven at many demonstrations, time attack events. He's been to pretty much every track there is in the UK.
He's a drift taxi driver as well, isn't he?
He is a drift taxi driver as well. Drifts out of Three Sisters. But I've seen Dango drive all over the UK in his Laurel. He had, I think, BMW V8 powered Laurel.
I do like a Laurel.
He had some issues with this car of recent, saying it was down on power. But to be fair, he's been putting in some very, very strong runs. Like you say, maybe a bit tentative, a little bit low on the track there, just squeezing it into clip 2, but not a little bit,
straighten up, yeah,
little bit,
slightly.
but not too much. Whether or not the judges are going to penalise him massively, that we're not sure, but it could have been a little bit deeper into some of these clips for my liking.
That's thrown him off now. That little wobble there coming out of 3, I think, threw him off the rest of it.
Smashing the back lights clean off that RX-8. That wall did not move at all and just splattered plastic all at the banking.
Wall would there, for sure.
Gentleman's Drift Club.
He's a gentleman. He's very sweet, yeah. He's a nice guy.
He's an ambassador for ACDC. He absolutely loves it. I once saw him do a drift taxi event in a full suit, tie, helmet, a lot, gloves.
I love it.
Just rocked up like he was the chauffeur.
That's the kind of nonsense I like. I like that.
With a radio in his drift car, screaming out "Back in Black."
I've heard about his song choices in his drift car.
Yes, very flamboyant when it comes to his drift career.
Well, you'd have rock over anything, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
It fits.
It does, especially in this environment.
It does.
Right, next up on the line we've got Lee Colgate. I used to say he was a dentist because that's what I got told, but he's not. It's just obviously his name.
He's got a lovely set of pearly whites.
Beautiful eyes.
Beautiful eyes. Okay, well you said that one, not me, but all right. I actually had a go out with Colgate.
I thought you said I thought you'd been out.
No, not gone out with him. Had a go out with him.
So you've been for a
Driftland, a couple of laps, yeah. He's good, I'll tell you that.
He is, and he's a nice guy to boot as well.
He is.
SR powered S14. I think this is probably one of the only SR powered cars. But nice high line there from Lee. That's what these 3 white lines on track are to do. They're to aid the judges to see how far up the banking they are. And at the moment, Lee looking like he's getting all these clips and deep enough in them. Not sacrificing too much line and carrying plenty of speed as well. I love this drone shot. This final is great. Very solid run there from Lee.
That was fantastic. Just what we like to see from Lee.
Hopefully it'll give his confidence a boost and he can go a little bit more mental on his next run, put a little bit more into. Look at this.
A bit more style.
Beautiful pearly whites.
Look at his lovely smile, bless him. He always looks happy, doesn't he? Whenever you see him, that's how he looks all the time. That's not just the photograph. He's permanently happy.
As long as the car's working, most of these drivers are quite happy.
He still stays quite chipper though, even if he does have a problem. I'll give him that. He's a cheery fellow.
You've got to do. These guys put a lot of time and effort into being here, and sometimes it can be quite difficult. Such is the nature of the beast of motorsport.
We're just waiting for one more score to drop in, and it's there. So he's 65. He's in 4th position.
There you go.
He'll be very happy with that.
So Matt Fountain in a Sora. I think one of the only Soras we've got here this weekend. This car originally obviously running a JZ engine.
Has he borrowed this? Have I got that right, or is that some?
I don't.
Maybe I'm mistaken now.
I might have to confirm on that one.
We'll confirm.
Again, the car turned out by Mike Walton from Walton Motorsport. Mike. Just rubbing the bumper off the power zone there through towards clip 4. See how close he gets out onto this wall through the clip 6 and flat out of a 7.
Saved it a little bit at the end there, didn't he? But he had a big wobble in the middle, which I think is going to cost him a few points. And a bumper.
Tie wraps, the staple of all UK drifting. These bumpers are just tie wraps on for that reason. So obviously when it just clips off, they can try and retrieve it later in the day. And it is good kudos points when you've got the rub marks along the bumper.
Yeah, because it proves that you've actually been to that wall, doesn't it?
Rubbin's racing, Sarah.
Rubbin's racing, apparently.
Rubbin's drifting.
If it can't be fixed, I've heard, by tie wraps or a hammer, then they'll give up and go on. That's it. Problem's solved.
Over the years, I've seen some of the extent that these guys will go to fix cars is robbing. But that's the great thing about this motorsport. Everybody will help each other. They don't want to win by default. It's not a race. They want to win for being the best driver. And it is one of the only motorsports where you will see the competitors actively helping each other to get parts for cars.
And we saw that yesterday. You know, a few drivers had a few niggles yesterday, and we've got other competitors helping them out in the pits, sacrificing time on their own cars to go and help somebody else actually get out and make today, which is just fantastic sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Davidas Petruskas, this is, I believe, a turboed S54. It's definitely turbo because you can see the exhaust straight out the bonnet. Really high up on the banking there through clip 2. Absolute smoke machine is this. Nice to see an E46 out there as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit slightly newer, isn't it?
Yep, it's a newer chassis than the E36. Probably be. And we've got red tyres on this. Unless it's
a little bit of pink.
Maybe a bit of paint coming off it. But an absolute smoke machine. I'm just waiting, obviously, the judges' scores are dropping in.
So you said you could tell that was a turbo because you've got the exhaust through the bonnet.
Yep.
Why do they do that?
BMW engines as a whole, the older ones are non-turboed. Obviously, if you wanted to keep the existing engine but offer a bit more power from it, you can turbocharge a normally aspirated engine, but you have to change a lot of the engine internals, things like that. That's why a lot of drivers will opt to change into a turbo engine. That's why they run the Super JZ engines, RB engines and things like that. It's nice, obviously, to see that these guys can do what they want in terms of engines. We've got Nick Brady up here, gentleman who was having a few issues with his car yesterday. Podium qualifier from here in round 1. Made the trip up from Essex. I think he's a co-director of a scrapyard, or Jason Metals. We'll say a recycling centre for argument's sake. And nice guy Nick, just sticking a clutch kick in there. Had a few issues earlier, being off in the gravel, so whether or not that's due to car issues or whatnot, but he's got to be happy with getting a run in.
He did have some issues yesterday in practice as well, and it was really, really tough to see because he was really struggling to get that car to do what he wanted to do. I think there was some engine niggles, and he's overcome them, which is just fantastic. Yesterday, his head was down, he was going to even get out on track, so this is brilliant.
What you'll notice with these guys as well is, some are very good at qualifying, but not great at battling, and then other guys are great at qualifying, but and vice versa.
Yeah.
Here we've got Stu Jones. This is a turbo 1UZ. I think it's a 4UZ turbocharged car. It's 500-ish horsepower. Stu opting to change from his SR later in the year last year, and then running this V8 itself, and he gelled with this engine straight away. He actually borrowed it from a friend, his car, and decided that he was going to buy the engine.
Fair enough. Well.
Yep. And it seems to be working for him because he's been getting the results, shall we say.
Yeah, he certainly has.
Stu Jones, the brothers Ash Jones are there, driving for Team Slide, competition clutch and DKM.
There was a little interesting fact, self-proclaimed fact from Stu Jones. He says he could drink a bottle of wine in 5 seconds.
It wouldn't surprise me. But also, another, Adam Simmons loves chicken nuggets. Another interesting fact.
Well,
plumbing and heating engineer from Mansfield. Well, exactly.
Who doesn't love chicken nuggets?
Vegans.
Oh yeah, that's true. Can't help there. We can have some,
banter. Right, Luke Barker in this 350Z. He has had nothing but issues with this car all week. I'm even surprised he's here. Checking on social media, he has struggled to get this thing built. He had an issue with a turbo, got the car running again. He was super happy with how it is. As you can see, absolutely smoking through these clipping points. Came here, did a bit of practice, did a bit of practice in the week at Three Sisters, and melted impeller housing on the turbo. So then had to run around to try and find another turbo, get it all rebuilt, get it back in the car. I think he's done multiple trips up and down the country to get a turbo, get it out in the car, just to try and get some practice laps in.
It's pure commitment, isn't it? Really. I mean, he just doesn't give up. This guy.
No, that or stupidity.
Well,
I think it's.
I think you've got to have a little bit of that in there if you do any kind of motorsport. Really.
We have, yeah, a little bit unhinged, and as you can see with the judges' scores there dropping in, fantastic run from Luke. We're just waiting on Brad's score dropping in. 80s, first position from Luke Barker there, putting an absolute storming run in.
He was really strong in round 1 as well.
He was.
Really impressed me, yeah, really good.
Josh King.
With his new paint job.
Yep.
Yeah, that he's already scratched. But never mind, he said.
It's there to be
never
ruined.
Mind.
No, absolutely. E34 5 Series. It's a big old bus is this, but more than capable. Plenty of car here for getting out and extending in some clipping points. Turbocharged, as you can hear. Not sure on the engine on this. Sounds like maybe the original V8 turbocharged, or M50. 650 horsepower M50 engine.
No, he's given some more information here.
So this is his
M60
right,
B40.
yeah, this is his spare car. So this is
his backup?
Yeah, this is his backup car. You know, being so pro as he is, he's got two. So this is his V8 turbo, running on race fuel, which is E85. 800 horsepower in that 5 Series.
It's not a bad backup car,
Big
is it?
car as well, isn't it? Louis Edwards in the E36. This is I want to say standard M3, but it's an M3 engine, so it'll be the 350 give or take horsepower. I would have thought, 340 horsepower, so 3.2. This guy really impressed me at round 1.
He's impressed me every time I've seen him drive at the moment. He's again another 17-year-old.
Exactly, and that's why.
Yeah, he's just no fear, isn't he? But he's consistent as well. He is. He's a consistent driver. I think there's a lot more to come from him yet.
Oh, absolutely, and you can see that with his confidence on track.
Yeah,
in an underpowered car, just being able to throw it in and nail the line, but that's where it might show in battles.
Seat time. This is what you were talking about earlier. This is where it comes to it. He's got a relatively low-powered car in this competition, but it is seat time. He knows what that car's going to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and sometimes if there is a change in the weather, that's where it can work to your advantage, because you don't need to have the power, assuming it might rain, which it's not going to do today.
No, the Falcon said not.
No, well, we've requested nice weather. So here we've got William Hanna. Yep. Come all the way from Northern Ireland. Renewable Energy Manager. This is RB25 DET, standard engine for this car. 500 horsepower. Oh, in fact, I'm a liar. This is not William Hanna. I have got my sheet upside down. Looks like this is Paul Cunnington.
Yeah. I've got the sheet in the wrong, unless... We're just hearing some information about Willie Hanna.
Yeah, indeed. Well,
that's why we were confused. Right.
Let's just get Paul Cunnington second place in the championship. Oh, massive error there from him from clips 6 to 7.
Shot having to too early there.
Reinitiate. So that's why we got our mixed lines there. So over to Sarah. What is wrong with William Hanna's car?
Apparently he's blown his diff and his spare.
Wow.
That's
so
a bit
two
gutting,
diffs.
That is gutting, especially to come all this way as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely gutting for him. So he's now out of the competition, unfortunately, for this round. Such a shame.
Unlucky. And here we have first place in the current standings. Martin Cowley in the S14 lock and loaded team. 26 years old from Rushden, so Northamptonshire. 2JZ, 550 horsepower. A little bit of a wobble there from clip 2 to 3. Straightened up a little bit. As he dials the angle and the power there, just feathering the throttle slightly as he comes through the dogleg and over the finish line. So that is all of the current line of drivers.
Martin Cowley there is another guy I am really, really happy to see out on track today. His pit crew and him were running around last night trying to fix all sorts of bits and bobs on that car, and again, didn't think they'd get out there. Brilliant to see him out on track getting it running.
These cars are so highly strung with so many different bits on it to suit drifting that you could drive it one day, have a fantastic day, put it back in the garage, put it in the trailer, everything be fine, get it out the next time, and have a multitude of different things that have gone wrong.
They're just complex.
They are.
Complex machines.
They are very complex. It's because obviously you're putting so much stress through these engines. A lot of people at home won't realise that these guys will be running rear radiator setups. So instead of having the radiator in the front like a conventional car, they'll have it mounted in the back of the car. Main reason for that is weight distribution, gives you a little bit more over the rear axle, but also if you have any heating issues, you can disperse the heat better down the back.
Yeah, because there's less heat
generated.
Obviously you've got the engine bay heat is boiling under there, isn't it? Especially these cars are revving, like they are revving.
Yep.
Some of them to the limit, and it's going to be
absolutely.
super hot under the bonnet.
Yep. So we're back to the top of the list again. We've got Justina Snorkus in the E36.
First time driving in BDC, doing alright so far.
Absolutely, pushing very wide out there towards clip 2. Using all the angle and lock there on that E36 V8 powered smoke machine. Just coming through clips 5, 6 and onto 7. Wow, wide out there onto 7, just running the back of that quarter there along the wall. Full commitment there. It's great to see these guys absolutely sending it out towards the walls there. And this is just the qualifying. Imagine how good it's going to be later in the day once we get through to his battles. So we're back to the start line with Marks there. Just getting him lined back up with Dan Tyler. 26-year-old. Team lock and loaded. Shallow on the track there, as you see, driving through the clips. Yeah, dropping a wheel. Completely out of line there, but just keeping it on track and keeping it going. Not phased too much. But obviously the judges will be scoring that down for dropping a wheel off track.
Absolutely, but you can't give up. You've got to keep going. You've got to finish that run, because at least you'll get some kind of score.
Yeah, that's it.
And that might be enough just to get you through.
Yeah, you've got to keep your foot in there.
So that's the banking there into clip 2. That is the bit we were talking about earlier. It's quite tricky, and a few people have come off during practice this morning. It must be quite hard to balance, because you're having to put a lot of power on to take you up the bank and not let the gradient pull you down. But then if you put too much on, you're off, and once you hit the grass, you're kind of sucked in, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly that. I've driven this track quite a lot of times. The drivers have got to fully commit and carry almost too much speed where they think they're going to fall off the track, and that gives them the speed to carry up onto the banking, and that will help you get that wide line that's required, that the judges are looking for.
Yeah, you've got to be confident into that, haven't you, to get that?
You've almost got to have the mindset of you've got to throw it in and think you're going to go too wide.
Yeah, almost overcook it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because you can dial a little bit more angle on and screw some of the speed off to get you up the bank in there.
Yeah. But once you're up there and you're not high up enough, you can't do anything about it, can you? That's
exactly.
You're in.
And you sacrifice the line, which then obviously makes the rest of the infield super difficult. So you've almost got to give it that extra 10 mile an hour more than you think, flick the car in, and then push out wide, and it's full throttle all the way around that banking. And you know you've got it right when there's so much smoke, it comes up to the wing mirror. You're looking out the side of the car and there's smoke up the inside of it all the way up to the wing mirror. And you feel like a don. You're like, yes, I am doing this.
I've just done that.
I'm killing it. Jolene there just shutting it down on the run in. That sounded like a bit of a bang, whether it was a drive shaft or...
She has had some clutch problems this
has.
morning. I don't know whether that's going to be related.
Potentially,
or
requesting recovery there.
Yeah, that is such a shame. She's been flying as well.
Yeah, very talented driver.
She's
done a lot of driving. Well, that's her job. She's actually a drift instructor.
She's fantastic.
So she teaches other people to drive drift cars. Not in this, obviously. She runs. She obviously teaches in multitude of cars, Lexuses and things like that, all based out of Rockingham. It looks like there's been a failure on that there, but look at her, not afraid, just
Oh, she gets stuck in.
She's getting the towing strap out so that she can get recovered. As you can see, these drivers this season running hands devices, which is a fantastic safety addition that these guys...
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And for something that's actually quite a cheap piece of equipment, really.
Makes a
in
massive
the grand
difference.
scheme of motorsport, yeah, it's definitely worth it all day long for these drivers.
I'm sure we'll get some feedback later on from her as to what might have gone right or gone wrong with that. But Jolene currently sat in 9th position with an average score of 64.3, so hopefully that she can get the the car fixed. Oh, well, we hear it might be the clutch or the gearbox, but they have had the clutch out on that this morning, so
there could
whether
be
or not an underlying fault.
Persistent problem there that's not being quite rectified, but she'll be glad like you say, she'll be glad she's got that quite solid run out earlier on, so hopefully that's enough just to get through. This will give her a bit of time to have a look at the car and hopefully something not too complicated.
The guys will have this thing on axle stands
in about 20 seconds.
Yep, they'll be ripping it to bits just to try and find out what the fault is.
Teesside Twucker. He'll be on axle stands.
Yep, wheels off it. But they'll drag her back into the pits. I'm sure the guys will have a look, see whether it's a clutch or a gearbox or some kind of drivetrain. The reason why these drivetrains are susceptible to failure is because you're running super grippy tyres. As soon as you put more grip through the car, it tries to highlight and identify where the weakest point of the vehicle can be. And again, if it's
usually a drive shaft or something
drive
like that,
shafts again, bearing in mind that in an M3 car that would be running 380 horsepower, which is obviously engineered to take it, you've got a standard gearbox, standard diff, standard prop shaft, standard drive shafts, and then you stick 600 horsepower through that.
Yeah, the wheels are spinning constantly, aren't they, as well?
Yeah.
So you've got that wheel spin, you've got the grippy tyres, so as soon as it snatches a little bit of grip, like you said, that weakest point,
it's going to find
it's going to give up, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not uncommon.
Well, the engine's still running, so engine's all good. It's probably, definitely drive shaft related. So, right, okay, the recovery has to take the long way around the track. It's not just for waving at the crowd, it's due to us having live stream cables that run across the track. We don't want to risk getting this thing close to them and pulling them down.
We don't want that, nobody be able to hear us anymore.
They
might like that, actually.
That might
let's
not
not
be a bad
suggest
thing.
that, they'll turn us off.
I very much do. We'll be getting shouted at otherwise.
So I do have a little note in my ear as well. If you're watching the live stream, or if you're here, actually in attendance, real live, if you go on the website, not only is the 20% off tickets for the next round, NEC.
Oh, I want to say, do you know where it is?
NEC, yeah. Birmingham, isn't it? Yeah. Down south for me, that. If you actually enter the code livestream, you get another 20% off the tickets.
Hang on a minute. So, obviously, standard math, 20 and 20. So, you get 40% off?
Near enough.
Wow.
20% off and then 20% off again.
Why not? It'd be daft not to run it, really.
If you're going to buy them now.
That's the time.
But it's only working while the live stream's on. So get them bought.
Jamie Stevens in this V8 turbo-powered E30. I love an E30.
Yeah, I do like an E30. They're a good-looking car. Especially good, lovely wide arches like this one. It's awesome. Looks the business.
And this thing's an absolute smoke machine.
Yeah.
This is Vaskelis's old car that he bought. The Lithuanian lunatic, absolutely screaming along the... Oh no! What has he done? Wow! Well, you've got to give him a round of applause there for flamboyancy. He was on the lock stops as he came over the line. I'm glad he actually did a spin there, otherwise that could have been a crash.
I'm glad it was there and not further down.
Yeah. I think he got lost in his own smoke.
I think so. That was I don't even know. The clipping point survived. But the run didn't, unfortunately. I tell you what, 10 out of 10 for style.
Oh, he styled that out a treat. Unfortunately, not getting a complete run in, so that's going to be a 0.
It will be a 0, unfortunately, but his first run was a very strong run, so
yeah, he went all out.
Yeah,
currently sat in second place. He went all out for that run there. A little way from Malks. Malks start line marshal for years. Very good racer himself, oval racer. Right, straight in. Bit of a tentative entry there from. This is Darren Wild. Yeah, Darren. Right, he didn't get a run in the first time, and it probably shows. Darren is one of the only. I think he's the only disabled driver we have in the BDC. This car being driven solely on hand controls, so that's changing gear, braking, accelerating, and steering, all using his hands at the same time. It's hard enough to do.
How many hands does he have?
He's definitely not an octopus.
When you get to go on the track walk later on and you get to see this car, go and have a look.
It is a bit of an
Go and have a
engineering-
look at the controls. It's unbelievable what is in that car.
Yeah, it's hard enough to do as it is when you've got to use your feet and the hydro and everything else and
That's
steer.
it.
So that's probably like trying to juggle with your eyes closed.
I can't juggle with my eyes open. I can't even multitask, to be fair.
Oh, why not? You're a girl.
I know, this is the thing, but I'm not a girly girl, so does that mean, does that explain it maybe? Can't multitask whatsoever. And you got a 16 there, which is a low score, but we can see why it was quite a scrappy run.
So up on the line we have a Robert Johnson. It says he's a plant engineer. Does that mean so a plant engineer? Is he a gardener?
No, I'm not. You could be,
Right.
couldn't it?
No, I think plant machinery plant. So 1.5 G's here. Rob will be happy with that at the minute. Smoke up to the wing mirror, dialing the lock on there as he's come through clip 3, enabling him to scrub a bit of speed and not use the brakes. Obviously, as soon as these guys touch the brakes, they lose momentum and speed. So if they can dial more angle on, good run there from Rob Johnson. Yeah, what we're saying is if they can dial more angle on, they use the natural grip of the car, the mechanical grip, to lose some of that speed without having to obviously use the handbrake or any of the brakes and things like that. We're just waiting for scores to drop in there for Rob Johnson, driving for Team Washloo. His teammate Ollie Evans driving tomorrow, one of the pro drivers. An absolute maniac behind the steering wheel. We're just waiting. Looks like Judge is having a bit of a conflict.
Bit of a discussion happening about this one.
Yeah, it's not always that clear cut. Obviously, these guys have had a brief as to what they expect from the drivers. So the drivers got all the information lined up as to where they need to be and what the judges are expecting from them. So Rob Johnson jumping up from 26th to 15th, taking an average score of 61 there. Rob will be happy with that. It's good to see him back in UK drifting as well. Right, next up we have got Dominic Gates, and again another 1J S-body. It says he's a jeweller.
A jeweller.
It's a
An
first.
interesting one.
It is, I've never met any jewellers.
Any freebies? Or?
I said
Yeah.
they'll be good with measuring ring sizes.
You should make some BDC like
Key rings.
no, I was going to say like earrings and that.
Oh, yeah, but you're not a girly girl, so you'll not wear them.
Still got to have a bit of bling, haven't you? A little bit. A bit of bling. And if it's car related, even better.
Win-win. Dom there getting a run through, had a little bit of a scrappy area, but again, judges coming in with score 13th, so stays pretty much where he was to start with. Financial mistake.
Mistake.
No joke.
No, E36 of Stephen McConnell. He's a Scottish driver as well, isn't he?
Yep.
He's come down.
Is he getting chased?
He's getting chased. Hang on, we're not in battles yet, are we? What's going on?
No.
What's
Micro machines on track.
micro machines? Meccano.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
I tell you what, he's got the line though.
He's a relatively neat and tidy driver.
Yes. Having driven, this is a straight 6 engine, so it's a standard 2.8, like I said, 200 horsepower. It's about, qualifying's about the line, and as you can see, you can't take it away from him, irrespective of power. He is on the line.
He absolutely is.
And the judges rewarded that earlier, so again, it's not all down to power.
It's certainly not. I would like to see him with a little bit more oomph, a bit more
Yeah.
flamboyance, but at the end of the day, like you say, it's about getting a score.
And absolutely, he's currently in third position. And the judges obviously liking his first run versus...
I thought that was a little bit better than a 56, but hey, I'm not the judge.
Correct,
So,
what do we know?
Yeah. Not a lot, probably.
No.
You know more than me.
You see, it's always good to get another perspective, guys.
Certainly is.
Chris Wright.
He's getting chased as well there.
This is the VQ engine, the V6 turbocharged in this.
Twin turbo.
Twin turbo.
3.5. It's a bit of a beast of an engine.
A lot of people starting to use this 350Z chassis now. It's coming through more. I think it's because it's aged. They're a bit more. I would say cheaper to buy, but probably not. Just more available.
Yeah, a little bit more realistic to buy now, maybe. I do have a soft spot for a 350Z. I have to say, I do like them.
I think one of the first guys to use one of these was the current owner, Mr. Matt Stevenson, had a 350Z. Did very well in it as well. Chris, currently in 29th.
They're definitely on my list. I'd have a 350. Yeah. If I get the opportunity. I've got a V6 now, but it's slow. It's a Rover.
A Rover.
So there you go.
A Rover.
There's a sad fact about me.
What's one of them?
Well, it's an MG technically, but it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just got a little bit better dress on.
Is it the? Yeah, well, because they didn't. Did they do an LS? Or they did a V8 version of that as well.
Oh yeah, and I would like the V8 one.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Mustang engine.
For all the noises.
Lazy though.
Look at this! Look at this view.
Whatever this little thing is, I want to go. It's awesome.
No, that's Ryan Toporowski's 700 horsepower.
Not that. I don't want to go that. I can't do that.
And he's spun.
Overcooked.
Yep. He says here that he's into joinery. He's a beaver trainer.
Well.
Whatever that means.
Well.
Maybe he's got a flotilla of beavers. Trains them all up to do beaver tricks.
Maybe they just build things for him.
Like a dam.
Yeah.
Ryan Toporowski says he's 34. I think that's a bit of a lie because I know he's counting them back. Put another 10 years on that, maybe.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, he's in his 40s. Well, they're not want me to tell anybody.
Oh, well, they've told him now. That's it. Too late.
He's aged well. He's the owner of the Skid Race team. Puts on the drift days out of Manchester. Birmingham, Manchester. Right, Philip Hayden, the fastest ex-pizza delivery guy in the UK.
Do you know, I need to make him a sticker that says Roads Closed Pizza Boy on the side of his car. I'm like so desperate to put that on the side of his car.
Select few will know. Look at this live view. This is a RC car trying to chase E36ers down the straight there as he flick entry. No handbrake on that to carry the speed. So that's a transition in his weight transfer.
And that's going to be a plus for the judges, isn't it? They're going to be looking for that kind of thing.
Absolutely, because what he's not doing, he's not sacrificing speed because he's not got the power to support it. So, as you can see, just dropping a wheel, but he's carrying a lot of momentum around the track. And with these lower powered cars, that's what the judges like to see, is fully committing. And you cannot take it away there from Philip Hayden. Absolutely floor to the board in that S54 powered M3 compact. Just waiting on judges' scores dropping in. Currently in 22nd position. Looks like a young Ryan Pothecary in that image there.
Someone said last round 2 he looks like Ed Sheeran.
I was going to say, yeah, he's got that Ed Sheeran look to him.
I don't think he does actually, if you see him. It's just
up
that
close,
picture.
it might be just that image.
I think it's that photograph. But Ed Sheeran's popular with the ladies. I'm sure he won't mind.
Wow, look at that Philip Hayden there. 22nd up to 9th.
Nice one. Much better than his first run.
And we've got his fan club. We love the Haydens.
I can see the banner from here.
Mum's got no bed sheets on her own because they're here.
They've painted the bed sheets. So we should have now Danny Maguire, secret performance.
One of the best looking guys in BDC, screaming down the straight there.
Oh, BDC gym model.
Look at the smoke from this thing. Skyline R34. Running the RB25 engine, 600 horsepower through this car. Lot of speed there. As you can see, obviously using all of that horsepower, double what Phillips just had in his little E36, and it shows.
It certainly does. And again, seat time. He's had so much seat time. He's really confident in that car, which definitely pays off for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it looks like he's putting in another consistent run.
So
that
much
literally
so,
is exactly the same as his first
keeps
one.
him where he was to start with.
I don't think it could be any more consistent than that.
Right, as we go back to the start line, as we can see the RC car there just chasing off. Just us.
The RC car got a little bit excited and crashed into a corn.
Right, pushing up there from clip 2, on full power there through the full power zone, just dialing off some of the lock there as we transition through 5. Lot of smoke from this 2JZ. So Toyota engine in a Nissan. Smoking out the track here at Teesside. We've got a variety of camera angles this weekend,
We certainly have.
trying out the different aspects.
I love the drone shot. You can really see how big this track is.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gives you a good indication of where the drivers are in relation to the clipping points as well, which will aid the judges later when it comes to twin battles.
Definitely, definitely.
As you can, RC right on the bumper there.
They keep up quite well. Good power to weight ratio in those RC cars.
Little 2JZ RC car. As we've got Ash Jones there running a really, really nice line through clip 2. Not the fastest, but again, V8 NOS, nitrous oxide, V8 powered E36, well turned out car, built by his dad Malcolm, out of a shed in Mansfield. That's the clutch kick I was talking about earlier. You can hear the revs drop and he just banging the clutch and getting them up again. Little bit of a wobble there from clip 7 over the line, but again, was on the qualifying line is what the judges were looking for. Just no wait for Ashley's scores to drop in. Currently in 11th. Let's see if he can better his score.
Possibly Hans is a little bit higher than the last one. Hang on, we've had a mistype.
Brad.
Possibly. No? Yeah,
Brad there just putting a
little bit of a
mistake
mistype in there. We'll get the
again,
official score in a
smashing
minute.
his fingers on the
Honestly,
keypad.
you judges and your sausage fingers.
I did not. Here we've got the RC car right on the back of. As you can see, there's no number plate covering that. That's probably because the radiator is in the boot, and that helps obviously with airflow.
Brilliant.
Gets it out there. You can see, typically 36, it's been rubbing walls, hence why the lights all smashed on the right hand side. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at it. Even going through the chicane.
Who's driving it? Stuart Little. I'm loving that little car.
Again, a drive. Didn't carry enough speed before he initiated. That's why he was shallow on clip 2. But then having to gather it all up as he's come through 3 because he's too fast.
Yeah, he's trying to correct it now, and then if you don't get that initiation right, it's really hard for them to pull anything back, isn't it?
Absolutely. Scrappy run there for Jack Wotton. Currently sat in 17th place.
I think his first run was possibly a little bit stronger there. Yeah, the judges seem to be seeing what we've seen as well. 41, so he's now in 18th.
Well, he'll stay in 17th because obviously they've just deemed it as he might have obviously jumped down the rankings. He's been pushed out from a driver who qualified a little bit lower.
So here's the local lad again, Ian Rutherford.
Nice entry from Ian there, just weight transferring and just managing to drag the speed up the banking and carry the car a bit wider. He's done enough laps around this track. The only thing that changes is the weather.
Yes, that's it. And it's not that often it's dry, to be fair, up here.
Up to north.
Up north.
I tell thee.
Yeah, I reckon. Whoa, nice one. I reckon
Solid.
Ian could do that with his eyes shut.
Probably.
I reckon he could actually put in quite a safe run with his eyes shut.
But he's already currently sat in 5th place anyway. Scores on the doors, George.
It looks like it's coming in stronger than the first
It
one.
does. Bumping him up to second place for local guy Ian Rutherford for Tarmac Sports. He'll be happy with that.
He will be.
Well, he should be
over the
anyway.
moon
He's
with
been around here enough. Well, what a fantastic plug there you've got for EnviroTrack cement and lime stabilisers on the back of that Tri-Ace clad E36. We've got Will Gibbs here. Turbocharged Supra 1JZ. Just casual, just looks so relaxed. No drama, just put a bit of power on. Just another day at the office.
He makes it look a little bit effortless, doesn't he, Will?
Sometimes that's the more flamboyant, not necessarily effortless. You can see drivers that are juggling the steering wheel when it all goes wrong and you've got your flapping, there's hands, there's indicators coming in, wipers coming on.
I've done that. I have definitely done that.
Wow, what a score, smashing it into 4th place from 25th. Will Gibbs will be more than happy with that because he was just outside the drop zone there. So, Matt Check, Blaze Jet Ski, as I was told to call him. Again, another driver pushing hard up onto South Bank there. Just a little bit short of the 3 white lines that the drivers were using as visual aids, but still carrying plenty of speed and power. 620 horsepower. S14 plants his foot on the accelerator. I think he just missed clip 7 there as he came over the line.
And that's where that drone footage comes in very handy for the judges, because they can see exactly if he did hit it or not through all that smoke.
Currently outside the drop zone in 27th place. Obviously we're top 24 drivers, top 8 automatically get through, and then obviously we'll battle the top 16th through there. So we're just waiting on the judges having a conflab to give us a score.
And it's looking stronger than his first run, so he'll be happy with that. Is it enough to keep him?
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
Bumps him up into 13th position. Right. That's an S body. You can tell by the lower arms. So you got Lewis Baker. Had a massive wobble in his first run, but look at that entry. Weight transfer a little bit shallow there. Obviously you can see as he drives over the 3 white lines, but keeps it up track as he steams down the wall there. Much nicer run than his first one. And look at that overhead drone footage. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
It is, you can see.
That's going to be brilliant in the battles later on.
It
Because
is.
if there's any doubt of something that's happened, a small detail, the judges can refer back to the
They
footage
can
and
ask
they
for a
see it.
replay,
Yeah,
absolutely.
especially from that angle as well. It's brilliant because you can see it from above.
Lewis Baker was currently 29th, which obviously is out of the qualifying.
Has he done enough to get himself
I
through?
reckon
I think he probably
I'm going to go
I think he has.
about 12th or 14th. 17th.
I was going to say 17th, but the
You-
thing
yeah,
is,
that
you're
one
not
just-
going to believe me though, are you? So it's I can't say that
I
now.
was going to say that, honest.
I genuinely was, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not going to get
Obviously.
believed. Oh, what? Uh-oh,
Stephen
car's
Fitzgerald.
gone.
Stephen Fitzgerald, the director of Fitzgerald Motorworks. Big flick entry there, not using the handbrake, opposite locking it in. And look how much higher up the banking he is from carrying the speed and not using the handbrake. Scores extra brownie points with the judges because that's what they. So, Stephen Fitzgerald there, having a fantastic qualifying line. Really liked his initiation there. The weight transfer, flicking it the wrong way and then back in again.
You know when you can kind of guess if drivers are Irish?
You can tell with the driving style.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You can kind of, they just fully send it, don't
Yeah.
they? They're really confident drivers. I don't know what it is about them, but they're really confident.
And look at that.
77.
So straight into 4th position there for Stephen Fitzgerald, getting rewarded from the judges for his initiation and not using the handbrake.
Go on then, what's that?
Yellow.
It's yellow.
It's a yellow subframe of the pink lady. I should know. I've been under it a few times.
Oh, that is such a shame. Did something happen to the
kitty
car?
litter he goes.
Was that driver error?
That was driver.
It's driver
It
error.
looks like he came off the power a little bit. The car gripped up and then
It just
obviously
gripped and it.
Yeah, sent him.
Because you've already got that momentum, haven't you? That's the problem. If you grip up, you're going to kind of.
Yeah, as soon as you let
shoot
off the
forward.
throttle, it then obviously it'll just carry all the forward momentum straight into wherever you're going.
Yeah. Hence why we've got the kitty litters.
Yeah.
Bring it back up.
Just inspecting it there. No, there's no bumper to worry about, so you're fine.
No, I took that off earlier on. In fact, I think that's some of it over.
Bits and bobs.
So fun.
These guys will actually make moulds of the body kit for this reason. So they'll have spare bumpers at home. It's not very often people bring them with. So you can see he's on angle up and then it's just let off up, and then he's obviously had to try and steer out of it.
That's it. But there was no room to steer out of it. The momentum
No,
stuck him forward.
absolutely.
So
And they're probably initiating at around about anywhere between 65, 75 mile an hour. So you imagine driving down not that we're endorsing this, but driving down the motorway and then pulling the handbrake.
it would just never happen. It's lunacy, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, we're going.
Well, look
Right,
at
go
that.
on, do that then.
But get as close to the car in front of you
Yeah.
as possible, and be as on each other's doors as you can be. And that's where the driver's skill comes into it.
Definitely. And, I've had a little go. Can't say I was any good, but, I understand a little bit, from the driver's seat what it feels like. And it's so difficult to fight all of your natural instincts. Everything you've learned how to drive.
Yep.
Forget it. Throw it out the window.
Because obviously, not a lot of people might know this, but you're a driver's driver. You've driven supercars. What's the most expensive thing you've driven?
The Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give me the key and it was like 400 grand car, and they give me the key and I was like, what, really? Oh,
400 grand.
400 grand car.
That's like driving a mansion.
It's worth it's several times over my house, to be honest with you.
And mine for that reason.
Yeah. Amazing.
What's
amazing
the fastest thing you've driven?
Probably that, but because it was a 600 odd horsepower car.
Yeah.
However, I didn't drive it the fastest, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That was the highest power car I think I've
okay.
probably driven off the top of my head.
What's the fastest thing you've driven? Don't say the Rover.
Oh no, you're joking, aren't you? It struggles to get to 30, that thing. It's got an oil leak for days. Escort Cosworth rally car, maybe?
Oh, very nice.
That.
Yeah.
We're getting that ready, me and my dad.
YB
We're going to have a
engine.
little go. We're going to have a little blast out in it. It's been a long time since I've driven it, though.
That'll be cool.
What else have I done?
Got a soft spot for Fords. Working for them.
Yeah, I like the old school ones.
Yes,
I like the
absolutely.
old school ones. I like anything old school, too. If it's pre-95, I'm all over it.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what it is.
Mark 1s, Mark 2s,
Yeah.
RS turbos, that kind of
Anything.
Yeah.
I have to say, shall I admit something really sad?
Go on then.
I'm not ashamed of it though. I quite like a bit of British Leyland stuff. Right, I've got a bit of a soft spot.
Anything with lead paint.
If it's beige with a brown corduroy interior, I'm all over it.
Velour.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
Exactly. I just think they're so horrendous.
Have a look
I like
at this
them.
£400,000 Rolls Royce. Oh, we've got
And I'm over here
Maestro.
going, yeah, I'm over here going, oh, it's an Austin Princess. Let's go and have a look at that.
It's in yellow. Oh, look at the colour difference.
Mustard yellow. No, I quite like interesting stuff. I like different.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What cars has excited you the most to drive? Is it the Roller? Is it the Cosworth?
I think it's got to be more race or track style cars.
Oriented, yeah.
Because as much as it's an absolute thrill to drive something like a Rolls Royce, it is
A road car.
prestige. It is an amazing
Yeah.
experience. It's like driving an armchair.
Yes.
But it's at the same time, it's not the same kind of thrill as driving something else.
Something
like
with a
a
roll
rally
cage
car
that's stripped out and it's
yeah.
noisy. And
So I mean, if you say right, there's a Fiesta with a roll cage. It's got 150 horsepower.
You'll have more
right?
fun in that.
I'd have more fun in that
Yeah.
than a Lambo.
Yeah,
Because I'm never going to drive the Lambo on the limit. I mean, it's like God knows
Yeah.
how much, 500-600 horsepower. I'm never going to push that to the limit. Whereas a 150 horsepower Fiesta, the limit is where the fun is.
Yes.
And that's the same with drifting. If you're pushing that ultimate limit, that is where the fun is.
Yep. I can relate to that. I totally understand, because obviously that comes from your racing background and your racecraft. You can learn a lot more in a underpowered car that you can have fun in.
You can develop yourself as a driver so much more and understand the car more in something that's got no power.
Hence why a lot of these drive, and we say this again about seat time, you can build a 600 horsepower car but not be all that great in it, but obviously you can come through the ranks and have built up the
and you've moved up to that
horsepower
stage.
stages.
Yeah.
But we're back on track now with Carl Farrer, nicknamed the Dango for whatever reason. And what would Dango do? Well, Dango would put a smoking run in there and absolutely nailing through clip 4 and clip 5.
The judges are
applauding
that.
And as you can see, it shows, because Dango is absolutely on the line, smoking it out. He said this car was only 300 horsepower. Well, that looks more like 5 to me, but
Certainly
putting a
does.
cracking run in there.
He said he's been drifting before people knew it was cool.
That does not surprise me
Yeah.
at all. Facts and histories. Oh, here we go. Made some cool memories. Used to keep, well, EDC back in the day, obviously 2010 onwards. Won Drift Outlaws in 2015 in the mighty Laurel.
He says he's a full-time rock star.
Think he's a rock star.
He thinks he's a full-time rock star. Is that more? Okay.
What would Dango do? Probably put a suit on and rock out to AC/DC with the rock lock out the window. Some say I've drifted through sisters with a 99 flake in my hand.
Two laps.
2 laps, one-handed, whilst eating a flake.
And he can't drift unless he's got his aviators on. I like that.
Won't surprise me.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this view up again. That looks like a Team Dynamics Pro 1.2, as sad as that sounds.
Yeah, okay, that's worse than my Rover thing, to be fair.
All right, I did a stint in Alfords. It's not my fault. Back in the day. Lee Lawrence here. Colgate just slightly down the bank and down clip 2, but nonetheless committing. As you can see, not carrying enough out onto 3. Probably one of the only cars, I won't say only, there is quite a few to be fair, but one of the original engines in the original car. A little bit of a scrappy, missed a few clips through that run, but we'll see what the judges think on that.
Yeah, looks possibly a little bit more untidy than his first run.
Legendary engine, which is the SR24 pot, used for many years in different formats, but just got superseded by the big turbo 6 cylinders and turbocharged V8s, more for reliability than anything else. Toyota Sora. Friend of mine, Adam Simmons, had one of these, and he actually smashed it up with Matt Stevenson, I do believe, at Awesome Fest.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Whose fault was it?
Another driver, to be fair.
That's even worse.
He got clattered whilst in a gravel trap. Oh, a little bit of a straight in there. And shutting down.
Shut down, something's not quite.
I do like Soras.
See, this is where I like a bit more retro, slightly more retro is my bag. I appreciate these, I like them, they're good looking cars.
They're quite, well, I'll say quite rare. They're rare in a 1J manual format. I used to have a lot of these as autos. I know a couple of disabled drivers who use the automatic versions of these as well. A guy called John Morton drives one, which I always admire that from a driver's perspective, being able to drift, not just drive, and do it just using your hands.
Yes, it's just inspirational, really. I can't get my head around it.
No, I know.
You know, it's just fantastic to look them. Their brain must work so fast at using all the controls with your hands. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And fair play to these guys. If you've got dreams and inspirations,
yeah,
not
literally
holding
nothing.
back.
Yeah, nothing is stopping them, which is just amazing.
So we are going to go back to the top of my second page. Heather.
Got a little thumbs up there from Davidas Petrauskas.
Showing that. So, yep. Turbo E46. That little RC car is not keeping up with that thing.
No.
This is an absolute smoke machine. I always wanted to build one of these in a convertible though.
Why a convertible? Not a drift one.
Yeah. I wanted to build a drift convertible one of these. Sounds epic, that thing on full chat and just flat out over the line there.
I think everyone held their breath there. Couldn't tell if you'd hit the wall through the smoke or not. So you wanted to build a convertible drift car?
Yeah. Scottish guy's done it. Kyle, who was the judge from round 2, he built a convertible E36 and the roll cage on it looked like a spider's web. It looked like a kid's playground toy. Absolutely beautiful bit of kit. But it looked amazing and different, much like Adam Simmons has built the Pro Z4 convertible. It's just
different.
Yeah.
Something a bit more unique. Yeah. I think it's a personal challenge for them as well, isn't it? When you've got a lot of cars that are a safe chassis to build.
Yeah.
It's quite a little bit of a challenge to see what you can get out of something different.
Nick Brady there. Little bit of a wobble towards clip 2. I think he might be suffering with some car issues on this because obviously Nick podiumed here at round 1. But again, it's all about getting the qualifying line, getting through to the battles. I was always really poor at qualifying, but managed to hold my own in battles. And some guys obviously were better at qualifying
the other way around.
and vice versa. But again, it could be down to car issues, and that currently in 25th.
Nick has had some car issues this weekend, as I mentioned earlier, so it's great just to see him out there. And to be honest, if he just gets through qualifying, he's going to be over the moon with that. I don't even think he'll be bothered. Anything else is a bonus after that for him. He'll just be so grateful to get out there and and at least put some qualifying runs in.
Yeah, it's nice to obviously make the cut and get through to qualifying, because it makes all that hard work feel worthwhile.
Yeah, that's it. He's got all the way here. You know, he was struggling fixing some niggles on the car yesterday, and hopefully he won't have too much more problem with it, but if he just gets through qualifying, he will be really happy with that.
Obviously these cars are pushed to the limit. Sometimes these guys will, even when the car's dying or the engine's on its way out, they will just keep their foot in.
Yeah, I mean, from a race background, yeah.
You
The
do.
amount of times we've seen that, my dad races as well actually, and we've been in similar situations where you think, something not quite right with this engine, do we want to risk it, do we want to not? But it gets to the point where you're at the end of your championship, you've got one more race to go. Do you jack in and lose your place, or do you just kind of go, I'm going to risk it for risk it here, I'm just going to put my foot in and go, hope for the best, hopefully it doesn't do too much damage, get the points and take the win home.
And then worry about it afterwards.
And worry about it later on, but
Yeah.
once, if you've got the trophy in your hand, it's a little bit sweeter to have to
Bitter
deal
sweet
with
pill to
the
swallow,
engine problems,
knowing
isn't
that
it?
you've just cooked an engine and cost
Exactly,
thousands
exactly.
for that little bit of trophy, that little bit of plastic.
And the rest with he races a Group B car, so
God.
it's not a nice bill at the end when you break
No,
one
I
of them.
can imagine.
It really isn't.
Stu Jones in this 4UZ Turbo, scraping that wall there. Look how high that line is, running that outside wheel beautifully along the outer edge of that clipping zone, scrubbing the speed. Really, really good line there from Stu Jones, as long as he can keep it all together. Nice through clip 5. He's going to start to push out wide a little bit here. Look, dial the angle off as he comes through 6, and then dial it all back on again. Oh, having a little bit of a wobble there over that last dog leg, but you can't take it away from him. That South Bank run there,
That was absolutely spot on.
it was.
Yeah. I don't think you could better that very much on that South Bank.
Look at his miserable looking face,
I
bless
could have
him.
smiled for the
I know.
photograph.
So
Come
28th
on,
to
Stu.
15th.
Good. That is a nice strong run from Stu.
So,
Look at the battle scars on the back of that one there.
Yep.
It's Luke Barker's car.
as you can see, held together with green duct tape and
Tie wraps.
Drift cars look great from a distance, up close, absolute sheds. Look at the flick entry there from Luke Barker, not on the hydro, up the banking. This guy really impressed me at the start of this season. He's been out to Ireland and one over there. Beautiful down. Clip 3 there, getting a round of applause from the judges as he dials all the angle on and just scrubs the car across that fake wall we've made. And again, pushing out wide onto clip 6. And a solid finish there for Luke Barker. Show your appreciation, everybody. Round of applause. Killer run.
That is so deserved for him as well, because he's had nothing but problems.
Correct.
He'll tell you himself, and like you mentioned earlier with his turbo, and then his turbo again. So many problems. So for him to do that run was
Currently sat in first place with an 87.
In there. This is the kind of thing we saw from him in round 1.
Yep,
I want to
absolutely.
see it again. He's a fantastic driver.
So let's see where these guys are going to drop in. He's going to be one of the
Oh,
first
this is
drivers to drop
fantastic.
into the 90s. We're just waiting on Brad's little sausage thing. 93 from
Brad's
Brad there,
little
just waiting to get his scores in. An average run of 91.3. Again, bumping his place up. His scores up, into first place
That's
still.
probably one of the highest scores I've ever seen. That's brilliant.
I love how Josh King's got his spare E34
I know.
turbocharged.
Waiting in the wings. Hopefully he won't.
He's
he won't need it, but
he's only
lost
got
his bumper.
one wheel off, so he will get marked down for that. But look at the speed he carried. Again, just
he shut it down.
shutting it down and having a wobble then.
Just trying to get back in, but I think it's a little bit too late now.
This thing is absolutely huge.
Committed to the end though.
You could be on one clip and the second clip at the same time with that thing. It's so big. Yeah, Josh had a fantastic start to the season. Was in 11th. Is going to stay in 11th at the minute. We're nearly to the end of the qualifying. Louis Edwards. Standard M-powered 3.2 E36. Obviously with the drift changes to suit lock mods and everything else. But look at that line, Sarah.
Absolutely fantastic. He is another one I said earlier. He's consistent, this guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of blows my mind a little bit. He's one of the 17-year-old drivers, and the skill he's got and the confidence as well.
Like we said earlier, you imagine once he's had a season or two in this 350 horsepower D36, knows the car inside out.
He'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, and then when he gets a little bit more power and everything that goes with it, he'll definitely be a driver to watch for the future.
Absolutely, yes. Definitely one to watch for the future.
It's nice having this younger talent pool coming through.
It is. It's like you mentioned earlier as well, it's a really good mix of ages throughout this championship.
Right, obviously William Hanna not in this run due to diff issues.
Yeah, it was his diff blue, didn't it? Yeah. So we've got Paul Cunnington
initiating there, obviously on the hydro through one, open to drivers to do either, but obviously scoring more points for a flick entry. Carrying plenty of speed there, close to the wall on clip 2. As we transition back on ourselves through the hairpin in the middle of the track, just dialing some more of the lock on there, and he'll dial it off here as he pushes out wide. You see the having a little bit of a wiggle. That's normal. And then powering over the line there as you get the drone shots from above. Currently second in the standings at the moment.
And you can see why.
Yep,
he's a
absolutely
very good driver.
And obviously the top 4 guys who finish later today get the option to drive in tomorrow's Pro.
So they get to go up against Pro drivers.
But what's good is these guys have had a full day already.
Yeah.
Of
Getting used to the track.
Exactly.
Getting used to the conditions, hopefully if they stay the same.
Marty Cowley lock and loaded. Team S14. Again, flick it. Oh, wow! Massive opposite lock. How the hell has he kept this thing going?
The clipping point is attached to the car, so technically he hit it.
He absolutely mullered it.
He's hoovered up the clipping point and it's attached to his wing.
Jeez, Louis, that was a brown pants moment. I'm sorry, I had to say
you know what?
He flicked that car in. Wow.
I think
can we get a replay of that, please? we want to see that, because that was so unexpected, and fair play to him. He flicked that in the opposite way on power. It snatched back and he managed to keep his foot in, plough through the wall and continue the drift.
I'm sort of a bit lost for words on that one, really. That's absolutely fantastic.
Watch this. He flicks it in. He's facing the wrong way off the track, look. Gathers it up, flicks it
in anyway.
Smashes the back.
And just carries on.
Yep, look. He makes an ash of that area, but the commitment and the power and the speed to keep going. Wow. That was amazing.
I think because of the problems he's had yesterday, he's going to know what.
I'm
just going to send this in.
He did send it.
Regardless of what happens.
Wow. He had the steering wheel the opposite way, turning off the track, and then it somehow juggled it around, but he's kept his foot in. If he'd have been off power at some point there and dab of the brake, he could have absolutely stove that car in. And he's come out with a free clipping point, and he's pulled an end canard off his wing. He will take that.
If the clipping point was attached to his car the whole way around, does that mean he's hit them all? Technically, because he's been constantly attached to a clipping point.
Definitely.
He's got some points.
I bet he'll have come back to the pits, and his heart will be absolutely banging.
It'll be pounding in his chest as well. I wonder if he even knows how much damage he's done. He'll laugh when he sees the clipping point attached to his wing.
I'll tell you what, when he was looking the wrong way up the track,
I bet his heart was in his mouth there, to be honest.
I think most of ours were as well.
Yeah, I think so.
We was expecting to be utter carnage.
Yeah.
Thankfully not. So as we look on screen at the minute, for the guys at home on live stream, we've gone black screen. We've gone wide angle. We've got the pro drivers lining up.
So they're going to come out for a practice, aren't they? Ready for tomorrow?
They are indeed. I think we might also be having a team event running on at some point today.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right, so we just got some feedback there, Sarah, that we're going to be going to the results in a second. They're going to come up on screen so we can see who qualified. So, as obviously after that last run.
Amazing run, 91.
91.3 for Luke Barker there, who's had issues with that 350Z. Ian Rutherford, local guy in the V8 supercharged car, coming in second. Jamie Stevens rounding out the top 3. 32 of these drivers will go through 2 battles today. All will battle each other from 31st to 1st and down obviously into top 16, top 8 and top 4. As we scroll off the page there, top 10 drivers round out by Paul Cunnington into the top 20. So Philip Hayden, fastest pizza guy
in the west.
In the west.
In the east today.
Jolie McDonald, hopefully she can get the issues with that car fixed and see her get back out into battles later on. Stu Jones, Team Slide there, Matt Check. And the guys round out the top 20, and there we go again into the top 30. There'll be 2 more after this, but you got Danny Maguire, best looking guy in Pro-Am. Rob Johnson there making the cut, which is great to see again with the rest of the guys. Andy Frost in a borrowed car, he'll be happy with that. Ryan Toporowski in 30th, and the remaining 2 drivers that will round out the top 32. Well, that shows the 34, but unfortunately Darren Wiles not making the cut there. He only made 1 run, and William Hanna didn't do a qualifying line. So that's your top 32 drivers. We will be back for battles later on in the day as we go through head-to-head, and we will battle the Pro-Am drivers, whittle them down from the top 32, top 16, grade 8 into the top 4. So that is everything from myself, Ben Manuel, and the beautiful as ever, Sarah Hall.
Oh, thank you. Full of compliments today.
Oh, well, you know.
What you after?
Get a bacon sandwich in there.
Oh, fair enough.
Right, we will be off. We will see you later in the day as we will rejoin you for round 3, the Masterclass BDC.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.